Every so often you'll see some articles like this. Now, typically you're going to find these type of things on those rumors type of sites, Mac specific sites like Mac Rumors. They always post this type of thing, not just when to buy a new Apple product, but more specifically when not to buy an Apple product. And this has to do with tracking of the release schedule and cycle. And these things are investments for people, so they want to time their purchase accordingly. They don't want to buy the device as it's on the way out.
Sure.
And so here we have a relatively comprehensive article about where not to spend your Apple money at the moment. Now, some of these are pretty obvious. A couple of others might be not something you thought about. But at the top of the list, we have the MacBook Pro. This one makes the most sense. We have many MacBook Pros around the studio, and the last thing I would advise somebody to do right now is go out and purchase a 16-inch MacBook Pro, because the M1 stuff, you've got to believe it's right around the corner. All the rumors and things are pointing at possibly getting an improvement on the port selection, M1 chip inside.
Maybe a different screen size?
Different screen size and display technology potentially. Right. So it's just like, let's not, that's an obvious one. Don't go buy one of these 16-inch MacBook Pros as it is right now, unless you absolutely need one for some reason, but just probably not advisable. Another one on the list, iMac Pro. This is that high-end iMac, Intel-based. It starts around $5,000. Now, at one time, this machine was a powerhouse given its price point. It was actually comparable to some of the, well, in certain circumstances, to certain Mac Pro products. And actually, this is not the iMac Pro, though. They're still selling the Pro, are they not?
The Mac Pro?
iMac Pro.
iMac Pro.
iMac Pro with the space gray color and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 18-core processor, 4 terabytes, up to 4 terabytes of storage plus SSD in there. This was kind of a strange product for Apple. Some people really liked it. Fast clock speed. Of course, it didn't have the modularity of the traditional Pro system they sold, the Mac Pro, which of course allows you to swap out certain components in a typical tower fashion. But it had a stiff price tag, and it still does, starting at $5,000 USD. Now, another place we expect to see the M1 chip outside of that new MacBook Pro is here in the iMac. So again, stay away from this thing. I know you want to edit some videos and all the rest of it, but stay away from this thing. Now is not the time. Maybe, I don't know, go on eBay, and if you need a computer right now, try to save a few bucks, or maybe they have a refurbished one. I don't know. How about this? Apple TV, 5th generation. It's getting a little bit old. It has the A10X Fusion processor and 32 gigs or 64 gigs of storage. It was updated a little over a year ago, but at a starting price of $180, that's a bit of a premium for something at that stage in its life cycle. And there's a lot of, actually, there's a lot of competitive streaming boxes for way less money than this that are capable of 4K as well, probably worth considering. The other one is iPad Mini, which we talked about relatively recently. Actually, I think on the last episode, we were talking about iPad Mini. iPad Mini is really due for an update. There's even been the rumor around the iPad Mini Pro being a possible option. Right now, I think in iPads, if you're looking for an iPad, the iPad Air is probably the best value in the premium segment. And then if you're not going all the way there, you might just want to get the baseline iPad, the like $300 one or whatever it is, $329, whatever they're calling it, the 8th generation we talked about, again, on a recent episode. That might be the one to gravitate towards. If you want a mini iPad model, then expect an update sometime soon. Yeah, the Wi-Fi version of the iPad 8th gen, only $329. Maybe go for that. Here's another one which often doesn't get talked about, which is the HomePod. You never hear about the HomePod. The HomePod was released over 3 years ago, Will, and then Apple kind of just left it alone. You had the HomePod Mini, but it's you start to wonder, what are they going to do with this HomePod? Are they going to keep making it? Is it going to be updated? Every time you try to check online, you'll see it's sold out. It doesn't seem easy to come by. I don't know about on Apple's website even. Check actually apple.com. See if you can pick up a HomePod right now. Obviously, the HomePod Mini is available, but it just seems it's such a competitive space with the smart speaker, and I don't know about people's feelings about Siri. So you can get the HomePod on Apple.com currently, $299. Can you? Oh no, you can't. Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah.
Pick the color.
Order by 4 p.m. delivers today within 2 hours. So yeah, you can still get it, but it's a dated device. It's probably on the don't buy list right now. If you needed one, you probably already had it. The other one here is AirPods. Now, AirPods, we shared leaked images of the upcoming AirPods with a new design, and I'm not talking about Pro model AirPods. I'm talking about the baseline level AirPods. AirPods 3 is the rumored language right now. So we're due for an update here, possibly a better in-ear fit, possibly a slimmer case, which is what some of the leaked images seem to show. And also the addition, this is the rumor, the addition of spatial audio. So AirPods will be another one that if you can hold off, you might want to wait in the Apple universe. There it is. That's the leaked image I was talking about. So they look sort of like more like AirPods Pro, but of course on a budget. And then the last one on this list, identified here by ZDNet, iPod Touch, which I never think about the fact that it still exists. Believe it or not, it's coming up on its 2-year mark for the last iteration. It still exists. Part of me wants to do an unboxing video of what might be the last iPod Touch. Maybe I should do that.
Sure.
Wow. What a throwback. Just the existence of it. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
It's like an iPhone SE with a different camera cutout, no Touch ID on the home button, single camera module on the back, starting at $199 for the 32 gigabyte model. Many colors to choose from as well. I hope they don't kill the iPod. It'd be something sad about that name being gone forever. iPod. Man, you remember the days you had an iPod, how cool that was?
Yeah.
Just an iPod is all you needed.
It's a good time.
Anyway, I'm thinking the days are numbered on that. Now, I don't know if you should hold off picking one up because this could be a collector's item at some point. I don't expect to see another iPod. It's possible this could be the last of the last, but either way, it's on the list of old Apple products that you can still currently buy that you probably shouldn't buy as of right now. So it's a nice little list right there. Today's sponsor, HelloFresh. You gotta eat something, Will. Just in general, as a human, you gotta eat.
Of course.
I gotta remind you sometimes. You get so caught up in the work that you're doing, you sometimes you put it off, and then you start to get a little bit angry. And I say, "Did you eat something yet?" I said, "What'd you have for dinner last night?" You ate a bowl of cereal. It's not gonna cut it.
No.
No, you gotta have something nutritious. Feed the body, feed the bones.
Yep.
Gotta get your broccoli in. Well, I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. And let me tell you something. I'm going to make it easier on you, all right,
Sure.
to stay healthy and to stay fresh with HelloFresh. Listen to this. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips, because I know you hate that as well. You can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in about 30 minutes or less. I know you like that as well. You got a lot on your plate.
Yep.
HelloFresh also offers 10 to 20-minute meals. Oh, wow. Now, I could get behind that.
Minute.
A 20-minute, I can get behind that. You talking about a butternut squash agnolotti? Yeah, I could get behind that. With kale in a sage brown butter sauce. I'll take that.
That sounds healthy.
Look at those butternut squash, man. I feel like is it gourmet? I feel like I'm at a restaurant again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We got to do the restaurant at home these days, and this is going to help us with that. I mean, I'm showing a Chipotle BBQ pork tenderloin. I'm showing a jalapeno chimney chicken. That one I'm having fun just saying. Or a mushroom and herb shepherd's pie, which comes from the Hall of Fame. I mean, Will, you got to stop showing these to me because all I got is a drink right now. Like, I got to, I got no food nearby. Over 4 out of 5 HelloFresh customers say HelloFresh helps them lead a healthier lifestyle with delicious, low-calorie, carb-smart, and vegetarian options, also available each week. Listen to this. They say better value. HelloFresh is 28% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store and 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal without sacrificing the quality. And the source there is Zagat Dining Survey.
Oh.
Well, you know what? A lot of this has to do with giving you the right amount of food.
The portions.
The portion situation, they always nail it as far as that's concerned. So here's the best part. I'm about to hit you with the best part. HelloFresh, listen to this. You go to HelloFresh.com/LouLater12 and you use the code LouLater12 for 12 free meals. 12. That's 1 and 2, 12 free meals, including free shipping. All you got to do, HelloFresh.com/LouLater12 and use the code LouLater12 for 12 free meals. I don't know anybody doesn't want 12 free meals. I'll put all the details in the description as well. And the other thing to remember, HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/LouLater12. Use code LouLater12. Here's another little rumor, little iPhone-related rumor, little conversation we could possibly have here about a potential hole punch or punch hole, depending on how you like to say it, version.
Apple will probably have their specific name for it. Something cool and out there.
Yeah. Right. What would they? They always, let me see, Touch ID, Face ID.
Just dot.
You
know?
Nice.
Something simple.
Dot display.
Yeah.
Our new seamless dot display. Yeah, okay, well. That because they had Retina for resolution.
Yeah.
So they got a dot Retina dot.
Bionic A20.
There you go. You're hired. I'm Tim Cook. You're hired.
Thanks.
You said words, and I liked those words. So you're hired. Anyway, this has been, it turns out, this conversation that Apple may do a punch hole display has actually turned into a controversial subject matter because some people are against it. They're like, hey, that's an Android look. We're not about that. And also, a lot of the technologies inside of Face ID require the notch cutout the way that it currently is. There's a lot of technology actually housed in there. People forget about it because they're not seeing it or using it all the time. When you launch the front-facing camera, you may forget that there's all this extra stuff in there as far as the dot projection, infrared, whatever else is enabling the sophisticated face unlock. But it has also been talked about in recent times how in the mask lifestyle that people are living nowadays, that maybe Touch ID could possibly be more useful than Face ID. Now, I don't know anybody that wants to lose. I think it should be versatility. Ideally, you have both. Why not? If you can pack it in there, put in a power switch and all the rest of it. But if you go to hole punch, you're losing a lot of that tech. And as it stands with Android devices, when you have just the front-facing camera and you lack the dot projector, the flood illuminator, and the infrared camera, you end up with a more crackable, a super fast face unlock, but an easier to hack face unlock. And I've done this in videos in the past, just hold up an image in front of the face unlock, which is just a front-facing camera, and I can actually unlock it just with a picture. So you give up a little bit of that. You do get some convenience and speed with it, and of course you get the better-looking display. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I would probably bet against it, but as it goes with iPhone rumors, I mean, there's no end to it, right? It's unlimited what people may imagine. Now, of course, Touch ID is a thing that I'd love to see, but I would like to see it probably in conjunction with still having this sophisticated face unlock. The ideal scenario, you're well aware that they can plant everything under the display at some point in time, but it's not happening immediately.
No.
It's going to take some time. Because the people with the selfies, they need the quality as well.
Yeah.
With the front facing and the TikToks and the things like this.
Sure.
I don't know if you ever heard of these things, but you gotta have the quality on the front camera as well. And you can't get it, not the full quality if you're under the display. We've seen some examples of it, but it's not rolling out in a commercial fashion. All right, last Apple story of the day. Here we go. YouTuber creates world's first Apple Silicon iMac. This is the one we told you to hold out for. You could just buy it from this guy, actually.
Oh.
No, you can't. It's a DIY type situation. His name, Luke Miani. And what he did is he took an iMac shell and actually built a Mac Mini inside of it. So he removed the shell of the Mac Mini. He jammed it inside of an iMac structure, that iMac was already messed up to begin with. It had issues. He then used an adapter to get the iMac to basically behave as a display. And essentially what you end up with is, it's an M1 iMac, sort of. But really it's just it's just a Mac Mini with an iMac as a monitor. You know what I'm saying here, Will?
Okay, yeah.
You following along, but it's a cool little project anyway. And the end results are, I mean, I like the end results. All of a sudden you got the M1 benefits. Now I'm just realizing things like the SD card slot on the side there. That's not going to function. I guess he doesn't care. He doesn't need to use that. The USB ports on the back of the iMac, did he map those accordingly? Let's see what actually the way he wired this up over here. Oh yeah, maybe it looks like it. Cool.
Nice.
Even the SD? Maybe. Anyway, point being is it's a cool little DIY, getting some usefulness out of a pre-existing iMac stand structure and display that was sitting around, bringing it back to life by baking a Mac Mini in there and not needing not needing another monitor in that circumstance. And the crazy part, which showcases the efficiency of the new M1 stuff, is he's got a way more powerful computer using a ton less space and a ton less power than the original iMac, in which it actually replaced the internal. So shout out Luke Miani, cool little project, sir. Here we have some speculation about the new Nintendo Switch. You know they're coming after the next-gen stuff. They can't just be chilling. They're Nintendo. They got to do something. They want to tag along for the next-gen ride. Now, they do things their own way. That's what I like about Nintendo, actually. So the Switch was a much different take on next-gen, but it depends on how you define next-gen, right? I mean, well, it's not... For some reason, 4K got associated with it. It was a resolution thing, and doesn't have that. It doesn't have that, not just on the device itself, but doesn't even have that when you go to the output. And I guess it's a bit unfortunate. You know, one of the games that I played relatively recently was the Zelda game.
Breath of the Wild.
I mean, that's one. I don't play that many games, so every so often I catch a grip on one, and you know, the kids were kind of into it, and it had a real ambience to it. And I don't know if you ever played this game, but it's they did something there.
Yeah, it's a great game.
They did something there.
Good.
They might have done something there.
Yes, they did.
It's quite possible. Anyway, they got to come with they got to bring the resolution up and all the rest of it, and they know it. And so apparently we got this updated Switch console. We talked about it on the show, but it seems to be getting closer here. We got the Bloomberg report. It's going to have a bigger display, 7-inch display on the actual unit, OLED as well, which I know you're a big OLED guy, Willie do. Apparently, it's going to be ready to go holiday 2021. If you're wondering, 7 inches, okay, what is that like compared to what they have right now? The current Switch is a 6.2-inch display, and the Switch Lite is 5.5. So it will be the biggest of all the Switch. I don't know. They may continue to sell the other Switch models, right? And then have this one as another option. Do they call it the new one? Do they call it the Pro? Do they call it, what do they do? It doesn't really matter. They could call it what they want. People want these things. Believe it or not, they sold a few Nintendo Switch devices.
They did, yes.
Believe it or not. In fact, I can give you a number right now. Over 79 million units have been sold since 2017. It's crazy. It's been around since 2017. See, it feels kind of fresh still.
Yeah.
13.5 million of those are Switch Lite consoles. That beats, by the way, the success of the Switch beats so many other Nintendo consoles, you'd be surprised. It beats the NES, it beats the SNES, it beats the N64, and it beats the GameCube. And it really beats the Wii U.
Oh.
The only console it hasn't beaten yet is the Wii, which moved 100 million units, but it's close, 79 million. You remember the Wii, everybody's swinging and swatting?
Yeah, throwing controllers into the TV.
Yeah, man.
I keep on getting confused with the Wii and the Wii U.
No, the Wii U was, the Wii U was kind of partway to the Switch, right, with that controller. I had that. It was kind of fun to play with it because it's so different, but it was obvious that they weren't quite at the Switch stage yet. And then when the Switch hit, it really hit the mark differently.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was... You can't say that Nintendo doesn't take chances. They take chances, man, on
they sure do,
formats and form factors. That's what I love about it. It's exciting. Anyway, the coolest part for me is the fact that apparently when this thing is docked, it will output that 4K on the TV. And so that means for these type of titles, presumably for some, maybe even a Zelda title. I mean, I'm just talking.
I mean, for a Zelda game, that's their style works with OLED too.
With a little bit of resolution on it?
Vibrant
With
style.
a couple of pixels on it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It fits.
So anyway, we'll
OLED.
see. Holiday 2021, you may see a brand new Switch. That may be exciting. How about this for excitement? This might get you going, Will. Qualcomm's new Snapdragon sound certification, which is promising improved wireless audio. And because, not all wireless audio is created equal, they're aiming to put a certification badge so you know what you're in for when you pair a Snapdragon device with a Snapdragon sound certified headset.
Okay.
And what is going to happen if you do this is you are going to receive all kinds of features over the wireless, taking advantage of the company's latest processors. Bluetooth audio, SoCs, and codecs like aptX Adaptive to achieve playback of hi-fi music up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz. These are things you want in your life. You understand? Now, this is especially interesting right now because we've seen a little bit of a movement towards high-fidelity audio from the likes of Spotify launching the hi-fi thing. We talked about it here on this show because we talk about everything here on this show. In fact, if it happens in the world, it happens on this show. I don't know if you caught that yet, but it's a thing that's been happening here on Lou Later. It happens, we talk about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the gist of it.
You know what we do? I was talking to Kirk this morning. What we do over here, Will, we read the internet so you don't have to. Yeah, you see, that's what we do around. It's a tagline, one of many taglines. Anyway, so here's how the concept breaks down. Many manufacturers can get this certification. Qualcomm's components are already found in headphones and earbuds from companies like Bose, Jabra, one more Sennheiser, Audio-Technica, Anker, etc. So a lot of people can be able to hop onto this certification. Now you know how Apple has the tight integration when they go with the AirPod type products, special features, things like this. So imagine now all these third parties tag up with this certification over here, gather all those features, and then people know what they're in for.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just going to have like some sort of icon or logo that's associated with getting like a...
I think it would be on the box and on the website. I mean, you're going to have to pay some attention. In fact, right now, I think it's only one headset that has this. Let me see real quick. I believe that I read that it is only currently one, but it will be showing up on more anyways. So keep it locked and stay tuned. Okay. So here's some interesting, I should mention, aside from making it easier to listen to high-res music, Snapdragon Sound will also improve your voice call quality and lower the latency when playing games down to 89 milliseconds. There's also a priority on connection stability. So it's just tighter integration and more capability, letting your devices speak to one another, which I don't know. I don't think anybody's complaining about that. And maybe they will complain about that if they charge you a few more dollars for it. All of a sudden you start paying for these certifications, but we'll have to wait and see if that's how it plays out. You heard of this browser called Brave? I think we referenced, I think we talked about Brave before, I think we might have talked about Brave before on this show because I feel like they were tweeting at me. Brave is this browser, privacy-centric, focused browser, no big tech, no ads, things like this. And people are gravitating towards these type of products these days, especially in 2021. Well, Brave is expanding. I mean, they say it's 3 times faster than Chrome. That's quite a statement to make. Shout out Brave. Anyway, they are expanding and adding to their company. They are launching their own search engine now to go with the browser. And I believe they acquired Brave, the privacy-focused browser, co-founded by ex-Mozilla CEO Brendan Eich, is getting ready to launch its own brand search engine for desktop and mobile. Yes, they acquired an open-source search engine developed by the team behind the now-defunct Clicks anti-tracking search browser combo. Here's the idea, Will. They're like, okay, we got this browser. It's fast. It's not tracking you. You're private. We love you. We got all this going on. But what do you do when you get in the browser? You launch open the search engine, and then you're back in the universe of the tech giants, which, I mean, that's up to you, right? No problemo. Do what you got to do. You got to use these services anyways. I mean, you and I try to live our lives without Google. Where are we, Will?
Impossible.
Yeah, what's going on right now? Who are we talking to?
Yeah.
You want to know something? It's just me and you talking to each other, nobody listening, and we're broke and we're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us without Google. But anyway, you can maybe change your exposure level and privacy level by determining when and where you want to use these products. And so the way this is going to work within Brave is you'll be able to just select your search engine. Now, it may at some point default to their own product here, but you will always still have access to the bigger tech companies and browsers and search engines like Google itself within Brave. They're not getting rid of anything like that. But anyway, so good for them. This is a big business now. Has privacy ever been hotter? Everybody talking about privacy all the time.
Yeah. I noticed that their videos on the website is not using YouTube embed. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Easy, well. Make me think about privacy.
Yeah.
Which actually brings us to our next subject quite perfectly. How about WhatsApp? Because, they took lots of heat over the update to the terms, and people were like, I'm done. I'm a quit. WhatsApp. Maybe a few million people quit, and WhatsApp was like, yeah, we got a lot of users.
Yeah, we don't care.
They're like, we got a lot more. Yeah, we'll figure out what those people want. Anyway, they're rolling out desktop voice and video calls to all users. So I don't know if you ever had this experience with WhatsApp, but the whole experience is really trimmed down on your laptop or desktop. You try to use the version of it there, all you can do is send messages. Is pretty much it. Well, until now. Now you have unlocked desktop voice and video calls for all users. I think it was previously out there in some beta format, but anyway, everybody's getting it now, and the desktop client gets a big upgrade here. Now, it's important to note that you will only be able to connect to one individual at a time. There's no group functionality yet. That may be coming at a later date, but this is to encourage people to stay on WhatsApp away from their phone and on all of their devices. So, like I said, Mac OS, Windows are going to support such a thing.
Cool.
How about Facebook? Okay, Facebook, another, they own WhatsApp. So
yes,
that's why this story is right after the WhatsApp story. But in reality, it should have been first, because then what I could have done is been like another Facebook company. You see how I had that in my head?
Yeah.
These should have been flipped. Anyway, this one is possibly more interesting than the last story. Facebook has trained AI to see, in quotations, using 1 billion public Instagram photos. It could have been your photos, Will. You see how this...
Oh, no.
Yeah, let me explain how this works. Otis is on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Instagram.
Yeah.
So now the AI is looking through all these photos. It stumbles upon Otis, and it says, dog. AI points at the profile, says, dog.
Okay.
Now learn what a dog was. That's pretty much how it goes.
Oh, okay.
Now, when you think about it in terms of the access to photo inventory that Instagram has, the number of images uploaded, when you're trying to train AI, you need variety and variance. You need a huge data set. Who's got a huge data set? Oh yeah, Facebook's got a huge data set. You know who's got a huge? Yeah, Instagram's got a huge data set. And so this AI benefits through such a thing. They're trying to build computer vision. The program, nicknamed Seer, outperformed existing AI models in an object recognition test. It's only a research project at the moment, but everybody's pushing for this. They want the computer to see the way you do, Will. They want the AI to see the way you do with nuance, so you can know the difference. And they actually talk about accuracy in this particular article. It achieved a classification accuracy score of 84.2% when it attempted a test provided by ImageNet, which is a large visual database designed for use in visual object recognition software. It tests whether an AI program can identify what's in a photo. So 84.2% of the time, it could tell you what's in that photo.
That's scary. But I guess that's inevitably the future, right?
Yeah,
Google does that with the I'm not a robot kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's...
You try to look for traffic lights or bicycles.
Sure, that's you training it. But in this case, it's training itself, which is far, far more advanced.
Right.
Because you think about human input, it's slow. Like, we got all these people clicking around, and it's not useless, but if the AI can figure it out on its own, I mean, it's obviously a better
exponential.
Speed and pace and everything else. So anyway, yeah, the whole program here, you can imagine when it comes to classification. I mean, they're talking about how they could potentially use it. For example, there's some kind of innocuous type of things like, oh, look over here, people with visual impairments. Okay, I'm not saying like that's useful, right? As far as classification is concerned, that one's good. But then they also say automatic categorization of items sold on Facebook Marketplace, or better systems to keep harmful images away from the platform. But of course, I start thinking about advertising and attention, and just I mean, it's unlimited, really, how this information could be utilized. And I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I'm just finding all types of efficiencies in how these categorization processes happen and can be more automated. Elgato has been taking full advantage of the current state of things, the fact that so many people are gravitating towards the streamer lifestyle. I mean, everybody's streaming right now.
Yes.
Did you know that? You're streaming, I'm streaming, Kirk's streaming, everybody's streaming.
Yeah.
And sitting
it's
at
a new lifestyle.
It is. It's like a whole.
Right
it's a whole culture. It's like everybody's expected to do such a thing now. Well, there's all these potential accessories you need to do such a thing, right? Whether it's microphone arms or Stream Deck. You're tapping a Stream Deck right now. Don't even lie, Will. Don't try to play it off.
I am.
You love
That's
that
how
thing.
The show runs.
That's your favorite accessory right now.
It's fun.
See?
It's satisfying.
See what I mean?
The chiclet.
Let me ask you something. What's more important to you in this show, the Stream Deck or the mouse?
Oh gosh. The mouse. The mouse.
Okay, all right.
I can navigate.
Elgato wanted to hear the opposite, but all right.
I know.
Okay.
But it's very important as well.
No, you love them both. Listen, Will's hand never leaves that Stream Deck. I look over there, I see his hand. He's gently caressing the Stream Deck. Anyway, they're launching all these. I love purpose-built gadgets. Like it's for a thing, and you don't have to. I also like a DIY here and there, but it's kind of nice when it's all put together. So they've had the key lights, they've had the mounts, they've had the Stream Deck.
Of products, eh?
They have.
I thought it was just the Stream Deck.
No, man, they've been adding all kinds of things to this, and that's actually what this particular article is about. They have now added that light strip, an LED light strip, to set the mood with the ambience. And yeah, you can see how it has just the glow. You just stick it to the back of the desk. You guys set the mood. Will's part of stream. You understand? Not everybody has the purple fireplace that you have in the background.
No.
So this is a new product. They got the light strip, and then they also got the sound panels. By the way, the light strip's RGB. Pick your color. Now they got these sound panels as well, as you see over there in the back.
These things.
Yeah, to improve the audio performance of your space, acoustic treatment foam, which looks cooler than some of the generic foam that you get. I think it's going to be a big seller for that.
That's a nice little pattern there.
I think some people will like it. Now, you know they got to charge a premium for it because it is so purpose-built. You can stick them to the wall with adhesive, or I believe you can use a wall anchor as well. Look at this. Well, look at this. Okay, that's kind of nice. Look at the guy, too. He's streaming.
Yeah, no drilling holes. It's just stickers.
You love it.
And it seems like is it wireless?
What you mean wireless?
No.
Well, these are just acoustic foam. Those just acoustic foam.
Never mind.
You thought it was a whole speaker? Oh, light up.
For some reason, I thought they light up.
Wow, Willie Doo's just expecting too much over here.
The light strips and this.
Yeah, it's just an acoustic foam. It's not cheap by acoustic foam standards. It's $100 for 6 panels and mounts.
Sure.
But if the decor really matters and it's part of your set and you're trying to have a cool stream environment, then you may pay that premium for a package that's a little easier to get set up and a little more clean looking at the end of it. So anyway, whatever. Shout out Elgato. Okay, this next one, bit controversial here. You tell me what you think. A Tale of Two Slings. This was posted on Peak Design's YouTube channel. Are we familiar with Peak Design? Vin was saying nice things about Peak Design the other day. And I believe Kirk likes Peak Design. I mean, they make bags. I think originally they might have been a Kickstarter thing, but they make nice stuff. They make nice bags, camera bags, laptop bags, things like this. Willie Doo's looking at googly eyes. It's because in that video, they're wearing googly eyes. I think they're making a kind of joke here.
Oh,
and I'll explain to you.
Get to their website.
No, I'll explain to you why they linked googly eyes because they're actually upset right now.
Okay.
they make premium bags, okay?
Gotcha.
It's a few dollars for these bags. I mean, it's for a person, they want a quality type of product, and they go into details about what makes their product quality. Now, they've been successful, but compared to a giant like Amazon, they're just not even in the same ballpark, scale-wise. Well, anyway, recently you get the product that pops up, Amazon Basics, with the same name, called the Everyday Sling, which is the product that has sold so successfully for them. And they're not happy about it. And so they make this video right here, A Tale of Two Slings. And I think you should play a little bit of it just to get an idea, get a sense for what's going on. I'll put a little volume over here. So they're being a bit sarcastic with it. Yeah, so they're having fun with it, but ultimately they're accusing Amazon of just ripping their product and selling it for less, which the Basics program kind of exists for such a purpose. Like, that's kind of what the Basics program is.
Right.
And I know Amazon has been, well, there's been a number of stories that have emerged about companies feeling as though they can't compete with Amazon Basics volume. I mean, look at, I think it was listed at $21. $21, man, for a, I mean, they can do things at volume that are just like impossible to compete with. Amazon Basics Everyday Sling, $21.47 on sale, even the regular price, $32.99. And if we compare that to the Everyday Sling from Peak, what are we looking at? $80.
$80.
But that one's $140. Oh, there's smaller versions. If you go to 6 liter. Anyway, the point being is it's a lot more expensive to get it from Peak Design than if you get it from Amazon. Now, I don't know about making this video for them. I get it. You're upset. But then at the same time, I'm like, are you kind of promoting the Amazon version in a weird...
Especially when it's a lot cheaper.
In a weird way, it becomes really hard to talk about because you want to bring attention to the fact you're a little bit upset about it, and you want to bring attention to the fact, and you also want to highlight why yours is better for those that you're probably getting a lot of questions from people, emails even, saying, hey, which one should I get? Which one is better? And you're sick of it because you're like, we created the Everyday Sling. They're calling theirs the... Right? It's upsetting, especially with the name being so close. Like, that's one area where I kind of agree. Look, Amazon, you want to make a sling bag? Just call it Amazon Basics Sling. Don't put the Everyday. We put the Everyday. Like, we put the Everyday. But does it mean Amazon shouldn't be able to make a sling pack? No, they are different. They got plastic zips, and it's meant to be a budget version of what Peak is making. Maybe one area where I will agree with them, though, is on the everyday aspect. Like, I think that could be a little confusing to a customer. Yes. Which one am I really getting?
Yep.
I don't really, I find it, I have a hard time with this. I would just say if you can afford the premium bag, support Peak, right? It is going to be superior to what you're getting off Basics. But at the same time, the reason I'm conflicted is I know a lot of people don't have that kind of money for the bag. And so, and also Peak is selling their product.
Yeah.
Which is where the conflict comes in. This is where Amazon has been accused, is that they have the back end data. They know the popularity of the resellers on their site.
Yeah.
And so they can say, hey, why is everyone buying this sling? Yeah, we should make one of those for cheaper. And it has happened in a multitude of categories, and I know sellers don't like it. But Amazon is so huge that they can't afford to not be on Amazon, so they leave the product listing there. This is how the whole thing works. It's very complicated, and it's difficult to have a comment on. Like I said, it's a complex conversation. And it happens not just on Amazon. It happens in places like Walmart. Happens in a lot of places, Will. You go to the grocery store, you got the Heinz ketchup, and then you got whatever the generic brand is.
Sure.
You get the Coca-Cola, and you got the grocery store brand cola, and it's just like... Amazon, I'm sure they focus it in that such way. They say, you know, this is the generic version, but you hope that there's at least enough distance that there is some ability to discern. but it is complex and it's hard to. I sympathize with them, with Peak Design, but I also recognize that this is inevitable.
Did they just change it recently?
Oh,
to a camera bag.
Oh, wow! Hold up, that came out on March 3rd. The video. Click on that, Will. Today is March 4th, and they changed the name. Genius. Solved.
It's the same one, right?
I think it's the same one.
Yeah.
Actually, is there a product number? Did we just discuss? No, it's the same one. 11 by 8 by 4. So they took it out. They took it out the name. Perfect. Solved. Amazon Basics camera bag. I think they could have still called it Sling too. There are so many Sling type bags. Really what separates is quality and what you're willing to pay for in terms of materials and zippers and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the differentiating characteristic. So by mixing up the name, it is a problem. People might have thought they were getting the other one. Right. Now that you fixed the name, I think it's fine. They can coexist.
Yeah.
Solved. Shout out Amazon. Shout out Peak Designs. You guys got it solved in the time since I clicked on the news story. That was a quick Bezos. Cheers, man.
Quick Bezos.
Holy moly. Just changed the name. That's kind of cool. All right. I guess that's a positive ending. Mm-hmm. They listened.
They did.
Is that positive ending?
Sure.
Yeah. You know, I'm a fan of the Taycan right over there, Taycan Turbo S. I have a story today related to it. We have some electric bikes with the same e-bikes, they're called, with kind of a similar aesthetic. I feel like I'm missing one. I need to put one on the wall right over there.
Yeah.
How
black and white?
Don't those look perfect? Like one needs to be right over there. So Porsche, hit me up. Let's get one of these going. These are no joke, by the way. These electric bikes are real transportation machines.
Are they?
Yeah. Powering, there's two versions, by the way. The e-bike Cross and the e-bike Sport, and they both feature full suspension carbon fiber frames. That's not cheap doing things like this, Will.
Right.
And so it gives you a lightweight but a rigid structure. It's going to have a mid-drive electric motor system, the Shimano EP8, 5.7-pound magnesium-cased motor unveiled late last year, 85 Newton meters of torque. The two models are going to be a little different. One more targeted at the city type of transport. Oh, man, you could just use one of these for your commute.
I'm thinking about it right now.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That would actually be really efficient and cool.
And just charge it up. Well, actually, I can't use that charger, right?
No. This would just be this would be a much more small charger.
Right.
Yeah. This would be no problem to charge up over there. One of them is more off-road optimized. Like I said, the other is more city ready. This has to do with kind of the tires and the brakes as well. But the whole thing, like you look at the disc brakes on there, it all looks very, very premium. The Cross and Sport can reach a top speed of 25 kilometers per hour under pedal assist, which the reason that number is selected as well is because that's the legal limit in Europe, which is where a lot of these things end up hitting the streets. Mm-hmm. But I think that's fast enough for you, Will. Anyway, this is the part that's going to bother you is the price. The e-bike Sport is going to be priced at $10,700, and the e-bike Cross will be $8,549. Yeah, I think you're looking at maybe different. But who knows? Maybe they'll send us one. We look in the studio.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll take a peek at it. But I think it's one of the coolest looking ones I've seen. I mean, you got to admit it. So, transport. We have not, believe it or not, we have not touched on the subject of NFTs yet on this show, which has been all the rage, all the talk, hot crypto talk.
Yeah. I've been bringing it up here and there.
I know you keep shouting at me. Just from all the way down there.
Yeah.
NFT.
Right when I walk in, I just...
Hey, Lou. Good morning. NFT. Anyway, all kinds of artists and YouTubers. I think Logan Paul had an NFT. And it's been crazy. The NFT stuff exploded.
Yeah.
The best known is the NBA Top Shot stuff. These are collectibles that are blockchain built collectibles living on the blockchain.
Built on top of Ethereum?
Yep, in most cases. Yeah. Don't necessarily need to be. And it's become the modern collectible. Now, there's a lot of people on both sides of the conversation about whether or not these are a good investment. So far, prices are out of control on these things. However, it's so new and fresh as far as the hype is concerned, is the long-term aspect of it, because they haven't been bought and sold that much over and over again, like a typical collectible over its life cycle. Scarcity does tend to work, and everyone's trying to figure out the right way to do it. And it's kind of cool to see it all happening, and it's exciting. But anyway, we're seeing stories like this emerge where bands, musical acts are finding ways to promote and sell upcoming music through NFTs, as NFTs, essentially. And all kinds of special perks and collectible elements to go with it.
Sure.
Because as you know, artists, they're trying to figure out ways to generate money. I mean, they make a few pennies off Spotify here and there, a lot of them.
Yeah.
On
and
streams.
If you want to be first, I mean, that's a good thing, right? To try something out in terms of this, like this.
Sure. Actually, well, there's this company outlined in this particular article. By the way, it's Kings of Leon. Did I mention that? They're going to be the first band to release an album as an NFT. But it's really a company by the name of, where is it here? Yellow something. Where are you?
Yellow Heart.
Yellow Part?
Yellow Heart.
Yellow Heart. And this company is developing these NFTs on behalf of artists in order to leverage the blockchain technology, trying to bring value back to music. And this is the way they've done their version of it, is all kinds of special aspects to participation, including things like lifetime front row tickets, golden tickets. I mean, it's a whole laundry list of, look at this. Okay, welcome to the best concert experience of your life, the Golden Ticket Collection. For life, the Legacy KOL NFT allows the holder to redeem a pair of front row tickets to any Kings of Leon headline show anywhere in the world. A luxury SUV is at your disposal for the night, up to 8 hours, and your on-site concierge coordinates all aspects of the arrival, assuring it's hassle-free. Unprecedented, seamless experience from start to finish. I think I read on this article that you also get a bag full of all the merch that took place on that particular performance.
Nice.
So you can see here, Golden Ticket, Bandit #1 red, quantity 1 of 1. Available 3/5 at 12 p.m. EST. Individual band portraits distorted using point cloud morphing, and each band member stems from the Bandit. So each band member's individual recording, that's what stems are in a music recording business, that you're going to have ownership of as part of the NFT. So you would get the raw files, more or less. It's crazy what you can do with this stuff. It's endless, really.
Yeah, at least for now, it's all, or mostly digital, which is something that you can't really buy before NFTs. Like, they were just all distributed. Like, if it's just an image, you could just copy and paste that image, right? I guess now you can own the rights to this this GIF over here.
Yeah, but as you see, you get these other kind of extras as well, which we were already trending in that direction with music, because you would have where an artist, for as far as the super fans were concerned, they will put some memorable aspect on it. Like, I bought the Random Access, the Daft Punk vinyl situation with all the extras in it back in the day. And you would see a lot of bands doing this, where they would have this premium release, which would come with, I don't know, special artwork or pictures or some kind of, I think this one had, look how poor the quality, look how poor the quality of the video is. What is that, 1080p? It looks terrible on this TV that I'm looking at. That's crazy.
That's a young Lou there.
Definitely younger Lou. Anyway, I remember in this particular unboxing, there were negatives, like film negatives included in the package.
Physical. From
the music video shoot. And these type of things really could enhance the experience for a super fan. And now NFTs are like a digital version of this experience. And kind of, you understand it. It makes a lot of sense in your mind. But again, we're going to need a little bit more time to figure out how the value actually holds up once these things have been resold a number of times to other people because, of course, with your NFT, you could also sell it, right?
Yep, and it's all tracked.
Of course, it's all right there, fully transparent. Another development in the music business, Jack Dorsey's company Square is buying a majority stake in Jay-Z's streaming service Tidal, paying $297 million in a cash and stock deal. Now, they've been hanging out. We were reporting, I remember relatively recently, there were photos of Jay-Z, Jack Dorsey, and Sean Penn on a beach. I don't remember what the context was, but they were hanging out in some tropical location, probably talking about what they're going to do about Tidal. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Tidal music streaming service, the idea was that the artists were going to be intimately involved. A lot of artists are on there as investors. These are the photos I was talking about.
Is this photoshopped?
I mean, he was there. I guess there's not one single photo of all of them. Anyway, tremendous photos.
Oh boy.
There's Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z chilling. They're drinking, that looks like a nice, what is that? It's like a summer type of wine drink or something like that. Anyway, they've been pals for a while. I think probably talking about ways to work together. And now I believe they feel that they have found a path for doing so through this investment. And Jack Dorsey addressed it on Twitter, how weird it might be. He said, why would a music streaming company and a financial services company join forces? His answer, to find new ways for artists to support their work. So Square, of course, has the Cash App. Cash App, I know, has been sponsoring a lot of people in the music business, product placement. Is there a way for artists to reach customers faster or more directly? I don't know what type of integration is gonna be coming out as far as this is concerned. Maybe it's just shared interests. We of course have to wait and see, but it is an interesting development. Tidal has had its issues. It has been, well, I guess, struggling next to some of these players. There's all kinds of players in the streaming business now, including the biggest companies in the world. Apple's in there, Google's in there, and Spotify, obviously. And so they've had to go out and raise more money, and maybe this is the solution they've been looking for. The other thing that happens through this deal, Jay-Z gets to sit on the Square board.
Oh, okay.
So he is going to be involved in more of what Square is doing. So that could be a benefit to Square. He'll bring his own individual insight, which could be useful for them to know as they continue to try to figure out which products appeal to artists and which products appeal to those that follow artists or would-be artists or those that purchase things from artists. You know what I'm saying here?
Sure.
It's comprehensive. Anyway. Disney is going to be closing 60 retail stores and focusing on e-commerce. This is another story in line with the current state of affairs, planet Earth, retail, not what it used to be. A lot of things moving online. People doing almost everything online. The Disney store, you may have seen a Disney store before, Will. The physical Disney store.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The kids love these things. They go in. It's not just Mickey Mouse. Disney has all this stuff, Star Wars and everything in there.
Yeah. There used to be one at Square One. Like right at the food court.
So it's already gone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because there is still one at Upper Canada, but it may be on the list here to be shut down as well. I don't know how many stores they have, but closing 60 is significant. Tuesday, the company announced that it planned to close at least 30% of its brick and mortar retail stores in North America by the end of 2021. And then they got the math figured out, which lands at 60 locations. They are going to be downsizing their retail footprint, focus on e-commerce operations, enhanced e-commerce operations. I can't say I'm surprised. It is a bit upsetting. Just, I don't know. Is it upsetting? It's more a thing of I'm wondering what's going to happen to malls in the future. Are they all going to be abandoned? What happens to these huge spaces? Because that's typically where these Disney stores happen to be. And this is one of the places that kids would like to go. I mean, look, it's a whole experience in there.
Yeah. I remember having a good time in there.
Look at it, man. It's inviting and imagination and things. I don't know. I'm obviously being nostalgic here, but the stores will still exist, obviously, at the theme parks and things like that. But yeah, it's just another casualty of the state of the world, and another experience that is going to be mostly online. Oh, there you go.
That's the.
That one's going to close. The sign in
Oh.
the front there says this store is closing, but let's stay in touch. So that's an example of a closure. I hate those signs. I don't know what it is, Will. I have a thing for business and retail. I don't know what it is. I roll past a place, I see the sign, we're done here, see you later, and I'm like, it's too bad. I don't know what it is. I feel, I mean, it always started out as optimism.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's business in general. So it starts
It's just the feeling of not
optimistic.
expanding or growing.
Shrinking.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody.
it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, right. Well, I think from a self-preservation perspective too, you look around and everything's closing down. You're like, wait, am I closing? What's wrong? What's going on? It's like a virus has broken out. Well, there has been a virus. A virus did break out, but then this is the virus on top of the virus.
Yeah.
Which is the consequences of the virus, and I guess just shifting trends and everything
Sure.
else. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Go take one last trip to your Disney store. Oh, here's another example of such a thing. Apparently, the Los Angeles creator community is starting to move out, according to The Verge. Now, we've covered a lot of stories about how big city life, a lot of people have been leaving it in general. New York, San Francisco, tech workers, blah, 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 vacancies and this and that. Well, this one I don't believe we've talked about, but you have seen it happening, which is the Los Angeles creator community, right? The group of people who landed themselves in Los Angeles to make a career out of online media, social media, and who have now either bounced or they're bouncing sometime soon. The Paul brothers being the latest example of this. I believe Logan Paul said he's going to Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if Jake Paul said where he was going, but they're leaving. There's a couple of other examples in this article. In fact, one of the examples is a couple from Toronto who's moving back to Toronto.
Oh.
That's, let me get this right here. That is Jasmine Saini, a YouTuber who moved to Los Angeles from Toronto with her husband. The first 6 months were great. Then the pandemic happened. We just realized there's literally no point of us being here. We can't go anywhere. We can't meet with anybody. We can't network. And guess what? We're paying some hot fees, some hot lease fees, rent fees, or I mean, even if you own property there, it ain't cheap. Now, not everyone is an example of this. Obviously, I don't know if you would consider Joe Rogan a YouTuber, but he was another one who left. Elon Musk left the LA area. Some have doubled down. David Dobrik bought a new house. I did this because it's a big house.
Yeah.
Casey Neistat, I think he's been posting on Twitter about real estate elsewhere, but
he's been missing New York.
Sure.
Yeah, he's been tweeting about it.
Okay, so we'll see what happens there, but I believe he's still in Los Angeles for the time being. We'll see what happens. Is the dream dead? Do people need to be in LA? I really don't know. Will the business go back to exactly what it was, or will it have been modified by this pandemic and accelerated towards remote work like everything else? Work from wherever you are and team up over if you want to collaborate, it can be remote or
just on Zoom.
Yeah, or I guess you use an airplane eventually. The Venetian got sold. That's the hotel that I have a lot of experience with in Las Vegas. Maybe even you do.
Yeah.
Remember that?
First CES there for me. And it's a swanky hotel, I got to tell you.
Were you staying in that hotel?
Yeah. It was it was so luxurious. It was nice.
Right. You know what I like? They had really thick curtains. When you're trying to sleep, you just have a real blackout, and it's on a remote. I always like that. You know what else I liked about the Venetian? I like how the rooms have the living area, like with the couch, the sunk-in section.
Yeah.
They're all suites. Like every room is a suite, so there's a spot to hang out and then a spot to sleep, and a huge bath. I mean, yeah, it's a good time. That one doesn't have the couch in it. You gotta get the one with the couch. That's my advice.
It has the couch.
No, the L shape. You gotta get the one with the L shaped couch.
The super expensive ones.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was expensive. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember. There's one. It has a nice large. There, that's L shaped couch. Yeah,
This
there. Yeah, you clicked on it, but then it didn't come up for some reason. That one there. It's the purple L shaped couch. Anyway, I stayed here too many times.
Sure.
And it was convenient because they had good internet. They had
their internet was amazing.
It was gigabit, right?
From what I remember.
Yeah, it was gigabit. And of course, we all started to figure out where you had to go to get the right internet. And there would be some events that would take place in the lobby over there. And your proximity to convention center was good. I don't know. It just ended up being a place I stayed more often than not. And it was part of the Sands company owned it. They owned the Sands Convention Center. Obviously, they owned the Palazzo Tower and the Venetian Tower. But they're getting out of Las Vegas. The guy, I guess it was the I guess he was the CEO or the president, Sheldon Adelson. He recently died. He died this year. And the company, even prior to his death, had shifted a lot of their focus to Asia. They got something going on in Singapore. I'm sure you've seen a famous hotel, the Sands Hotel in Singapore.
Marina Bay.
And they got another one in Macau. And so they're going to put their focus over there. So they sold. Now, nothing's going to happen. I mean, it's not like it's going anywhere. It's a big deal, man. $6.25 billion. That's a lot of money. I mean, it's a huge hotel, though. I'll tell you what. Actually, I believe when you combine Palazzo and Venetian, because they are connected underground, I believe when you combine them, they account for the most rooms of any hotel in Vegas, if you combine them. Otherwise, if you're not willing to combine them as one hotel, I think MGM Grand might have more rooms. But anyway, it's a ton of rooms over there.
And it's right on the Strip.
Right on the Strip. $6.25 billion is the deal. So they'll still be there. It's going to be operated by a different group. I don't know how much of it will change as far as what's going on in there, but the Sands company is going to put its focus on Asia and the Macau operation, Singapore operation, presumably whatever else they're looking to do over there. So we'll see if it remains the same. But Vegas has been hit. We're talking about all these companies, all these places and stores and things that have been hit by this. Imagine Vegas, dude. They lost CES, 50,000, 100,000 people coming in there, bringing money, going to the restaurants, and you got to feel a little bit for Vegas.
Yeah, they're hurting.
You got to feel a little bit. Oh, you probably saw this, the SpaceX Starship rocket yesterday.
Yes.
You watched this thing?
Yes.
Incredible footage.
Not live.
I was not live.
Just watched the regular. I kind of skipped a few.
What do you mean you skipped a few? What are you talking about?
Well, they had the live version, and then they uploaded.
Oh yeah. Did you just watch the clip after?
Sure, yeah.
That's fine, man. Jeez,
well,
you're apologizing for
I
watching.
I would like to catch it live.
No, it's obviously cooler live, but at least you saw the clip.
I did, yeah.
Never saw you so guilty before, man. You're really
the truth comes out.
You're really apologetic about it.
No, because I usually watch the live version.
I see.
And then this one I just missed.
Yeah, well, I caught the clip too, and I don't really feel all that bad about it. But anyway,
well, you should.
I caught the clip, and the shot, you know the shot when it's like, you know the shot.
Yes.
Yeah, when it's twisting and it's about to land, and everybody posted the shot. Everybody said it's pure, looks like CG.
They finally did it, yeah.
But it's real life, and they pulled it off, and they land the thing, and I showed my kids the footage,
yeah.
And you know what they said? They said exactly what you thought they said. They said, "Is this real?" And that's how you know you did something cool.
Yeah.
If you got the youngsters asking if it's real or not, it's pure. It looks like Star Wars type thing when it lands.
It does, yeah.
The takeoff is cool and all, but just go to the landing real quick. It looks like nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna float down here, and then this.
That looks CG. Right
this is the shot. Good camera work too.
Yeah, it looks unreal.
The way this camera is moving, they nailed it. Incredible shot right there.
And then they land.
Spoiler
alert.
No, I mean they land. It's a short clip. I'm sure it's number one on trending. It's number one on trending right now. Will people have seen it? Don't worry.
Okay.
4.6 million views. Now, of course, this clip they cut before the problem occurs, but the thing does explode.
It maybe tries to take off again, and then it just kind of blows up.
No, I think it was actually trying to cool down still.
Oh, okay.
The triumph was short-lived. An automated fire suppression system trained a stream of water on flames still burning at the base of the rocket. The spacecraft blew itself into pieces about 8 minutes after touchdown. Now, I know that this is exactly how this stuff is supposed to work. You're testing. Like, you're trying to find the failures and things. But sometimes I think I forget of the amount of danger involved, even in testing it. Because now I'm thinking to myself, damn, that thing sat there for 8 minutes before it decided to explode. Imagine approaching it after it lands.
Yeah, let's get like a cleaning crew in there, you know. And then
it's so much fuel and power, and I'm just like, I presume they have all the protocols to know, okay, let's not go in there right away. But yeah, if you see the footage of it blowing up, it's terrifying, obviously. But anyway, it's a massive thing. That's the other thing. It is massive, and you can't really tell scale when you're watching the clip, but you're talking about something that's like 400 feet. That's a building taking off.
Yep.
Oh, baby. Yeah. Anyway, you already saw the clip, but exciting stuff. And exciting especially because I don't know if you knew this, Will, but the Earth is running out of oxygen.
We're taking it all up.
So you better hop on that next one, even if it's going to explode.
Okay.
Earth will lose its oxygen in 1 billion years. You got a little bit of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why?
I softened the blow there.
Okay, yeah.
The sun is going to get too hot. And
as a matter of fact.
The sun is going to get too hot. Yeah, it's 1 billion years, but the sun's going to get really hot and then screw up the atmosphere. The study predicts that in 1 billion years, the sun will become so hot it breaks down carbon dioxide. Levels of CO2 will become so low that photosynthesizing plants will be unable to survive. That means no more oxygen for the rest of us. No plants, no willy do. I don't know if you were planning on living for 1 billion years. Sometimes I talk to you, you get very upset about your own mortality.
Well, I do.
You just presume you're going to be here for 1 billion.
That's the plan.
What else can happen? It could take as little as 10,000 years for oxygen levels to drop to a millionth of what it is now, which is a blink of an eye in geological terms, not necessarily in the lifespan of an individual, but in geological terms, I guess that's pretty quick. The harsh, choking atmosphere will be incompatible with any multicellular life as it exists today. So, I mean, basically, you're talking about Mars right now, you know, and you don't want to be there unless you got all kinds of fancy contraptions. If the atmosphere gets screwed up, all of a sudden you got all kinds of UV light, and you're just in rough shape, man. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, my NFTs.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to sell your NFTs. You got no buyers. So anyway, I'm just saying, get on the Starship first before that happens. This next one, I thought this was so cool. Researchers have found a way to read centuries-old letters without opening them. And right now you're thinking to yourself, wait a sec, why don't you open them to read these ancient letters? Because of this thing that people used to do in the olden days, Will, which was folding techniques that were so intricate that the person receiving the letter would be the only one who knows how to correctly unfold it without ripping it. So then if they knew it had a rip in it or that it had been tampered with from the way that the person sending it normally folds the thing, then they would know someone had seen it already. Like I'm talking.
It gets that complicated?
Yes,
I guess
sir.
So, like origami.
Hundreds of years ago, letter writers used complicated paper folding tricks to keep their words hidden from prying eyes. Now, through the use of X-rays and 3D imaging techniques, researchers are able to read them without messing them up. So they have a trunk filled with 2,600 notes from Europe sent between 1689 and 1706. And now they're going through and actually reading them.
Okay.
People used something called letter locking for hundreds of years, developing a huge variety of techniques for folding, cutting and interlocking the pages on which they wrote their correspondence. Depending on the technique, the recipient might need to rip the paper to open it, so the folding acted as a kind of tamper-evident seal. Early, that's like some early level password stuff.
Why are they all collected here? They're just not sent?
So that's part of the story. Actually, usually if you had mail from the time period that was not collected by the recipient, it would just be destroyed. But this particular postmaster decided to save it in case anybody came to retrieve it at a certain point, and there could have been funds owing on the postage, I guess, and so held on to it, and then had been passing it on through generations afterwards. So the stuff is sitting around, but this secretive technique, everybody used it, even the big shots: Galileo, Marie Antoinette, Niccolo Machiavelli. Who would have thought? This is a crazy technology. If you go watch some medieval movie type thing, they just take the letter out. Yeah. They just fold it, seal it, call it a day. But look at those folds.
Always with the wax seal.
That's a piece of history that just, it's cool to become aware of it, that it was a thing that existed. I'm glad I know that it existed now. Crazy. And the fact that they can read it now, these letters, and find out what people were writing to one another back then. Kind of wild. Here's a cool invention. How about a little robotic bug, roughly the size of a dragonfly, which can behave like a drone, but with capabilities to get into locations that you couldn't necessarily get a full-scale drone. Now, these little things, they had a hard time manufacturing this because often if you're trying to make a drone type device the size of a bug, it's going to be really fragile with using rigid materials and wings. And so they actually found a way to do it with a new type of material, or at least a new technique, a new way to use this material. Previously, tiny robots used rigid actuators built from ceramic materials, and if it would crash or run into something, then it would have a hard time dealing with the collision. This new version uses actuators made of thin rubber cylinders coated in carbon nanotubes, producing an electrostatic force that squeezes and elongates the rubber cylinder. Repeated elongation and contraction causes the drone's wings to beat fast. And so that actually, this is a good demonstration. Obviously, that's why they put the video out. But it does have a bug-like kind of float to it with the wings. And if you were to see it in slow motion, you would see that inner component. Oh, here we go. Is that a video? Can you play that? Oh, here we go. It's going to show us the actuator right now. And hopefully in slow motion, you'll see it elongating and contracting. There you go. Which in turn flaps the wings. And now you're saying to me, Will, why do you need this tiny little 0.6 gram or 0.02 ounce drone? By the way, that's the weight of a paperclip.
Yeah. So I can swat it.
Hey, man. No, because when you have like an earthquake or something.
I hear you. Yeah. I was joking, by the way.
And the building collapses.
Yeah, you want these little guys to go in and check if there's any survivors.
There you go, Will. Yeah. There you go.
It's a cool idea.
Technology, man. And look, it's robust. They try to slam it and it survives. It's robust, man. Cool, whatever. Shout out, mini drone.
Cool.
You sent me this one. This is the type of stuff you like to read on a what on a Thursday morning. This is your Thursday morning. Burger King shocks customers with insane new menu item. My stomach would kill me. Shout out Yahoo News for this one. Now you probably can't buy this thing unless you're watching this show from Japan. Shout out Japan. If you happen to be watching from Japan, you can go pick this up. It is called the Strong Magma. I love the name. Strong Magma. 1 pound beef burger. That's 4 patties, and they're not small patties either. Burger King Japan to release the fiery garlic chip, spicy sauced 1 pound beef burger Strong Magma tomorrow. Hard to resist. So I guess it's got a spicy aspect to it as well. It features 4 patties, 2 slices of cheese, a mysterious spicy powder made of Japanese peppers. And if you finish the burger, you're going to earn a celebratory sticker. It will cost you around $13 USD or 1,380 yen. And I have to believe someone's going to find it and probably post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I would assume that that might happen, so keep an eye out for a strong magma burger. Could you finish such a thing, 1 pound of beef?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
Quarter pounder is not a big deal.
All right, no problem. They just, what is it, FedEx overnight, Japan, Burger
Do it.
King. Willie Doo's looking for one. Another thing you might be looking for, maybe some Cheetos.
Okay.
Check out this next story, Will. Oklahoma woman linked to home break-in after Cheetos residue found on her teeth. Oh, you know, I like to go out. I like to lighten the mood on the way out.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a break and enter, I guess. All right. An Oklahoma woman was arrested in connection with an attempted home burglary. The incident happened 8 p.m. at a Tulsa home. Woman at the residence told responding officers she was home with 2 small children when a woman climbed through the window. Officers determined that the suspect had pried a screen off the window to get inside before not stealing anything or harming anyone. So I don't know what the plan was. I don't know if the person was in the right state of mind. However, what happened while the person was in there, they managed to leave their bottle of water and their Cheetos. I'm talking about the burglar or the would-be burglar.
Right, yeah.
They not only did they not steal anything, they climbed through the window and then just set down the empty Cheetos bag in the water bottle.
Yeah.
So not in the right state of mind. However, it gave the cops the clue they needed. They arrived on the scene, saw the Cheeto evidence, found the assailant, and saw the Cheeto residue on the teeth. And were able to connect the dots.
So
that is some persistent stuff, that Cheetos residue.
it's, it's vibrant orange.
It's very orange.
Very
it is
noticeable.
unnaturally orange.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a good story, I guess, for Cheetos, right?
wow. Wow.
Be able to catch criminals because of their...
Is it good or is it bad? What if you're a criminal? Now you take a second glance at those Cheetos.
For Cheetos, yeah.
You say that evidence can stick around too long.
It will.